Ms. Lepene, any questions you'd like to ask?
Carol, how many times have you had conversations with my grandmother?
Just that once.
Okay. Do you know what the background is with her? Do you understand the background with my grandmother and what's going on with her right now?
I know that she has she was saying she has knee problems.
Okay.
And she hasn't been feeling well.
Do you know that she's actually working with Alexis's father at this point in time?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay.
She didn't share that with me.
Did you know that she's been talking to Nate's mom for years?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay. So you understand that she doesn't believe that Alexis was molested with...
You had told me that.
Okay.
Yes. And when you came to the house once, you had also told me you were frustrated with Alexis, and that if Alexis's father was living close enough, you would give Alexis to him. You had told me that at the house once. Do you remember that?
Do you recall that I said his mother if he wasn't living there?
You said you would just give him to his father because you were frustrated.
The only person that I would give Alexis to, if you recall correctly, would be her grandmother.
You said father.
Okay. Do you recall that I'm lactose intolerant?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I know
you made a conscious effort on the matter of 4 years to ensure that an amazing job to ensure that I never had dairy in any of my food.
Tried very hard, Liz.
Yeah. You did a very good job, you feel,
Thank
right?
you. Well, I tried.
Right.
I tried, and I know you said that I tried to poison you. Someone told me that you said that online. I would never do that. Never.
You don't remember dropping cookies off, taking the kids, and then later coming back and asking me if I ate them with a smile?
No, I don't remember asking if you ate them with a smile. I may have asked you if you ate them. I think at the time, I never put milk in cookies, for one thing, when I bake them. I think then you had told me shortly at that time that you couldn't eat butter either, and maybe butter was in it, and I didn't realize that.
But at that point, right after this assault had taken place in November, you had dropped off cookies that had milk in them.
No milk. I never put milk in cookies, Liz.
But you did tell me they had dairy in them.
Butter. You told me. I didn't realize you couldn't eat butter.
Okay. Do you remember after the assault and seeing the photos of the dog attack, saying that the dog is growing on us?
I never saw the photos of the dog attack, but I did say, yes, he was growing on us.
Your Honor, I'd like to present the photos of the dog attack into...
She has to lay a foundation, Your Honor. There's no foundation laid with this client. She said she never saw one.
Ms. Lepene, you've been asked to introduce them, and you can testify about when they were taken, and
Okay.
I'm assuming you took them.
Yes.
You can testify about that and ask to introduce them during your testimony.
Okay. You don't recall saying to me?
I do recall saying that.
That the dog is growing on
Yes,
us,
I do.
knowing that he mauled your daughter.
And then I felt badly saying it. I apologized.
Okay.
It was just like a slip of the tongue because the dog, it was a beautiful dog, and I certainly didn't mean any harm by it.
Do you think that I loved the dog?
I don't know. I don't know. Did you, Liz? I don't know.
Do you know the amount of time that I spent with the dog?
I know that you brought the dog down from Maine, that you had got him in Maine as a gift from Michael.
Okay. So you remember apologizing for saying the dog is growing on us?
I did apologize.
The groceries that you say that you brought to the house shortly after this, due to the fact that I could not work due to the assault 3 days after my hysterectomy, do you remember all of those either being expired or dairy products?
None of those would. Well, I brought dairy for the children. They could eat dairy, that wasn't for you.
Most of the groceries that were brought were expired.
I
Do you recall?
didn't check the date on those. Some of those came from my mother that she had gotten as a gift from Christmas. And so they were things I thought maybe you could use, and we didn't eat them, maybe you could use them.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Your son-in-law, Mark Silly,
correct.
he works for the Rochester Police Department?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Do you remember an occasion after the first arrest in which the petitioner, your daughter-in-law, went to the Anchorage Inn?
My daughter-in-law went to the, oh, you, okay. No.
No.
Well, I heard about it, but
How did you hear about that?
I heard about it through reading in the thing that my brother got. He gave me a copy of it.
Mark Silly told you that...
Mark Silly did not. It was in the literature that I got from my brother.
You didn't question Michael Lepene about his whereabouts on February 14th of 2014 and whether or not he was meeting up with Elizabeth despite the protective order?
I don't recall questioning him about that.
Okay. So Mark never called you to tell you that they were staying at the Anchorage Inn?
No,
And you never questioned Michael about that?
not that I can recall, because I only found out about it there.
Are you aware that that's not the story that Michael told me at the time? That Michael Lepene is the one, in fact, that told me that Mark Silly called you guys and let you know that we were staying at the Anchorage Inn?
Mark never told me he was staying at the Anchorage Inn. Since then, he told me he saw you there, your car there. He did not bring Michael's name into it. He just said he saw your car there.
Okay, so Mark did tell you that he saw my car there?
Yeah, since lately, yeah.
Okay.
Was this March 2015?
This was February 14th of 2014, right after Michael was first arrested for assaulting me.
Bail conditions were in effect?
Right.
Okay.
We met up. Regardless, we were trying to work things out. Mark Silly happened to be called to the scene, and I was informed that by Michael that Mark had called his family, which is what led me to believe that I would have been followed and reported on a repeated basis.
Your Honor, again, there's no question here. This is just her testifying again.
I thought he was asking me a question, so
Well,
I was
I
answering
asked
it.
for the date, so I
Oh,
got you.
okay.
The date was Valentine's Day 2014, or sometime in February 2014.
Right.
Gotcha.
So if you were informed that a police officer had given knowledge to your in-laws, would you then believe that you would be followed on a regular basis?
No.
You don't believe that if
No,
somebody...
why would they waste their time doing that, Liz? To me, I think it's just a waste of time.
Right. If your
For-
husband told you that his family was following you, would you believe him?
If my husband told me his family was following him, no, I wouldn't believe that.
You wouldn't believe that his family was following you?
For what? I would need to know the reason. Why would he be following, Liz? I don't understand your
Did you
question.
know that the front desk told me that Mark Silly was there as well at the Anchorage Inn that night?
No,
Okay. Did you tell Michael during the time that Alexis and I were staying when I was pregnant after he was arrested for assaulting me, that you wanted to have us both evicted?
both evicted?
Yeah.
Oh, you and Alexis? Yes, I was very uncomfortable. You paid no rent. You were saying all these awful things online. It was just not a comfortable feeling.
What things was I saying online?
You've been saying things online, posting all kinds of things
Talking
on
about
Facebook.
2014 right now, after
Oh,
the first
20
assault.
After I wasn't comfortable with you there. I wish, yeah, it was like seeing you there. We had no recourse. So you stayed there rent-free while Michael was having to leave. And
Why did your son have to leave?
because of the allegations that you made against Michael.
you don't think that your son assaulted me at any time?
I don't know, Liz. I wasn't there.
Okay. But you choose to believe his story instead of
I
remaining
do.
biased?
I
Okay.
do.
That's
Yes.
fair. After post-operative problems, you said that you allege that I said I lied to the judge. Are you aware that you asked me to make sure that you had the kids on Christmas?
We'd like to have the kids.
I'm talking post-operative, so after the surgery,
Okay.
after the major assault, did I allow you to see the children?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did you then tell me that I wasn't supposed to be sharing the children with you? That it was part of the bail conditions that he wasn't supposed to see the children?
I knew nothing. I don't recall that, Liz, honestly.
So are you aware that then I had to go in and amend the protective order so that way you could continue to see the children?
You said, okay. I don't know.
You said that I said I lied to the judge.
That's what you told me.
Are you aware that I just told them that I was unaware that there were bail conditions and I had been sharing the children all along?
You never shared, you didn't share that with me.
Do you remember dropping off Callie in the Rite Aid parking lot and Callie running up to your car and crying and trying to get in your car? And then when I asked you to open it to see what was going on, you opened it. She got a toy and then got back out.
Mhm.
Do you remember that?
You told me, I said, I didn't know why she was running back, and you said she wanted something in the car, so that's why I opened the door. And you said, oh, she wants the toy, so I got it and gave it to her.
Okay. Have you ever witnessed me with Callie?
Only on pick-up and drop-offs. Before, I witnessed you with her after she was born, when she was real tiny.
And what would you say the parenting was like?
It seemed fine.
Okay. How about with the children in general?
I always felt badly for Alexis.
Okay.
I did.
Did you ever witness Michael verbally abusing Alexis?
I think I've seen Michael get upset with her, but not I can't say that's not any different than what you did, Liz. I recall when we were at Friendly's parking lot, the scene that occurred there and how that just made my hair curls to say, please, when you had a waitress coming after and saying, there's a problem out in the parking lot, please come out and help your daughter-in-law. And
Do you remember Alexis strangling me with her seatbelt due to an imbalance of her medication?
I'm talking about what I know of is that Friendly's.
Do you remember Alexis being very upset due to her diabetic diagnosis?
I do.
Okay.
But I'm getting back now to Friendly's when they came in and
I'm not asking you about that.
Well, I am telling you
Okay,
how
that's-
uncomfortable that was. This is part of the parenting question, Liz, you were asking me.
So you made, I think, two questions ago we were asked about the incident, so you can finish.
Thank you. While there, the waitress came in and got me and said, there's a problem in the parking lot. Can you come out, please? So it has to be me again. So I go out, and as I was going out, Liz and Alexis were coming in, both crying. So we sat down in the lobby, and Liz was crying. She said she had a hard time with Alexis, and there was a lady, a witness out in the parking lot, yelling at Liz, telling her that she was an unfit parent for treating Alexis the way she did, that her ovaries and uterus should be taken out, she shouldn't be allowed to have children, and she should be reported to DCYF, and how Alexis crawled under the car to get away from her, and it was just a horrific scene, and we were trying to eat breakfast at Friendly's, and to have to see that, to deal with that, it just broke my heart. Broke my heart. She called Alexis a bitch. She said if she was close enough to Concord, she'd drop her off. I felt so bad Alexis.
Do you remember what Alexis was doing at that time?
Yes, I had complimented Alexis on her hairstyle. I told her hair was pretty. She replied in a manner that you didn't approve of. So you took her outside to talk to her. And that's shortly after the waitress came to me and then had asked me to go out and try to handle the altercation.
So you don't remember Alexis having an imbalance due to her medication and flipping out repeatedly, almost nightly, after she got out of the hospital from her diagnosis?
I wasn't around for that, Liz. You did tell me that she was having problems with
Both
her medication.
you and Dennis were around and you refused to watch her, is that correct? Because of her anger problems?
We watched her when you asked us to. In fact, I had to learn how to I kept calling you because I was afraid I'd do something wrong with the diabetic medication and figuring out the numbers and all that for the food. So we watched her. It wasn't easy because we were afraid I'd do something wrong with the counting of sugars and so forth.
Initially, after Alexis was diagnosed, it wasn't until about 6 months or so until you actively started watching Alexis. Is that correct?
I don't remember. I honestly don't.
You don't remember her being angry and you saying, I feel uncomfortable due to the fact that she doesn't listen and she has random outbursts.
Honestly, if I said that, I don't remember.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay. Did you get Callie excited to go see her mother?
We just say we're going to go see Mama.
So you don't get her prepared for the transition?
We do tell her we're going to get ready to go see Mama.
Okay. Did you know that she came to the house saying Mama's gay?
Mama's gay?
Yes.
No, I don't know where she'd hear that.
So do you believe that would instill some question as to what is being said about me when she goes to your house?
Liz, we very rarely talk about you at our house,
Okay.
and especially in front of the children.
Okay, so Callie coming and saying Mama's gay, you think she got that?
We don't even use that word gay.
Okay.
At least I don't.
Did you know that your brother had seen me out in public quite a few times and had followed me around the court?
Followed you around?
Yes.
That would be a waste of his time, Liz. He has better things to do.
Okay, did you know that he had been following me?
He doesn't follow you, Liz. He had seen you at the hospital when he was there with his daughter. His daughter was in the hospital. And he also had to go to Somersworth, I believe, as part of his job to go to different police stations. That's his job. And he walked in and he saw you and he spoke with you. He doesn't follow you around.
Okay, did you know that when I came into court one day to file paperwork, he then went and questioned the security as to what I talked to him about, what I put in?
Are you sure he did that?
He did it in front of me.
I'm not aware of that.
Are you aware that he changed bailiffs before a hearing in December?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, are you aware that just prior to coming back from recess, you were speaking to a bailiff and asked him if he knew who your brother was?
Which I was just now, you mean?
Yeah, prior to coming back in here.
Which bailiff?
The one at the front desk.
I know her.
Okay, and you
She-
asked her?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Just wondering. Do you feel like it's a conflict of interest to have this case in the same court that your brother oversees the bailiffs in?
Just not good, sure.
I don't think that's a proper question.
It's a question, it's a fair question.
Well,
It's
it
a
is.
conflict of interest question.
That's for me to decide, it's not really for her to decide, so.
Thank you, because this is not my
Okay.
area.
You don't have to answer.
Thank you very
Mona, could we
much.
take a very short break and clean this?
Yes. 10 minutes, that'll be 20 up.
All right.
I was curious to see if you had a job, and that was it. So I saw Google Photos and I went on and looked at it. That's it.
Why were you curious as to whether or not I had a job?
We were just trying to figure out where you might be, because driving to Tilton is quite a haul for us, and I didn't know if that could kind of give me an idea, and it didn't, so that was it.
Okay, are you aware that after I saw that you were following me on Google Photos and after your brother had been following me around the court is when I put the stalking orders in?
No, I don't know how going online would be considered stalking.
You were trying to find my place of employment, correct?
I was wondering if you had a job, that's all. Or
Why didn't you ask me?
Because I just feel like I can't communicate with you. You make me nervous.
Okay. I make you nervous. Do you remember me ever saying to you, I would drive the full length when there was a blizzard?
One time you did, and I believe it was because you were going to the doctors to get medical records on Callie. Right after that.
You believe that, or is that a fact?
Well, when I drove back, you were heading up towards Rochester, and that following weekend you told me that we brought her, that you had gone to the doctors to get medical records, her medical records, and that you had put her in school. She was going to school.
Okay. Did you bring Callie to the doctors?
I have, a couple of times.
A couple of times, but not
Because-
Michael, right?
Michael had brought her once,
Okay.
after work.
Okay. You said Callie threw up the night before, but
You said that. This is what you told me.
Callie threw up in the car, and she had ice cream the night before.
What you told me, I wrote down what you told me, that she threw up the night before. My sister-in-law was there, she heard it as well.
You believe that I wouldn't clean up Callie after
That's what we
throwing up
couldn't-
the night before?
That's what we couldn't figure out. You said you were gonna kill me because she's dirty.
Because she threw up in a car. She had ice cream the night before. Does that sound more reasonable?
It would sound more reasonable.
Okay. Do you think that you might have misunderstood that?
I hope I did.
Yeah, I hope you think you did too. You were questioned by Michael's attorney about saying anything negative in front of Callie. Do you recall that when we have meetings, I speak positively about the good things she's doing, like going on the potty and potty training her?
You texted me that.
Right, but we talk about that as well. I bring up positive aspects of milestones that she's made during the time that she's with me.
We haven't been talking, we haven't been communicating, speaking. We talked to Callie.
We talk to Callie, but we make it a positive exchange.
We do.
Okay.
Yes, I can say,
So
there
I feel-
were a few times it was very uncomfortable, like the time when you said you were gonna be suing my brother and me and that type of thing that you,
Okay.
so.
Do you feel that if I felt like I was being stalked or followed or my employment was being searched after it had already been tampered with, that those feelings would be valid?
No, not from me. Why would I stalk you, Liz? I have better things to do with my time. I wouldn't stalk you.
You follow me on Google Photos and you just admitted
Just once.
Just once.
I went on there once.
Okay.
I don't even like going on those. I was just curious. That's it.
In a collaborated effort, has your family been trying to find my location?
No.
No?
We wondered, but we haven't.
No. So the fact that, are you aware that Michael's attorney has repeatedly requested for my location?
Yes.
Due to the fact, even though I'm under the address confidentiality program, which was warranted by the Attorney General's office?
I I know they were trying to find where your address, where you were living, that I knew.
Okay.
But
And
as
you-
far as me, other than that one little time going on, that was it.
Okay. So do you believe that if there was a blizzard in which you asked to switch weeks, that if you had simply said, I don't feel comfortable driving in the snow all the way to Tilton because it makes me feel uncomfortable, that I would have said, I would love to drive and pick her up?
Isn't that what you said? You said you'd pick her up on Sunday. Either that or
If
you do it Monday.
Let me rephrase the question. Do you think that if you had asked me to drive the full length due to the blizzard, that I would have gone out of my way to do that?
I don't know, Liz, because
When
the
you had
text
asked-
the text message that you sent me sounded very snappy, and under no circumstances were you going to give in to my asking you to trade the week, that it was either Sunday night or Monday. That was it.
You understand if you flip-flop the weeks, that means that I would lose the birthday.
It would just be those 2 weeks, that it would go back to normal. I don't know. I don't see where
I
you...
would have lost the day of parenting time, and I felt like that it,
How would that be? Because you would have her 2 Mondays in a row.
I believe I'm asking the questions. Prior, you asked for me to meet due to the fact that there was a blizzard, and I drove the full length, which is 2 hours, to go pick up Callie in a blizzard, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You did not ask me to drive the full length this blizzard.
I don't think I asked you that one. I asked you if we could go later.
Right,
The
and we
first
actually
one.
did that before. You said,
You
can
had
we
done
go
that
later?
before, right.
You said, can we go later
Right.
at 10 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
And then you said, I said, how about we meet Friday at 10 o'clock? So we pushed the time out
Right.
to make
Mhm.
it comfortable for everyone. So I was cordial.
Correct.
I worked around the blizzard.
Yes, you did.
This blizzard, you were asking to take parenting time away.
I was not, Liz. I was asking to trade so that you would have Callie 2 Mondays in a row. I wasn't asking to flip-flop the whole schedule,
Okay.
just those 2 weeks.
Do you understand that that's the perspective I had and that it was not rectified?
I felt like I couldn't talk to you. I felt like when you started going on and on about Christmas and all that, I had no idea what you were talking about. So I just let it go.
So all of the good things that I've done,
Good
Are-
things you've done. You
when working around the meetings, working around the blizzard, working around all of this stuff, one blizzard I say,
Okay.
no, I don't want to give up parenting time, and you're saying,
It wasn't safe. I was concerned about driving. And I said I was concerned about safety for Callie, and you said bullshit. All the good things you've done, putting my family through all these stalking charges against my son-in-law, my daughter, my husband, my son, getting my brother in trouble, now trying to get my son-in-law in trouble, going to the Rochester police station 2 weeks ago. Those are nice things, Liz? I don't think so.
you don't think so?
I don't think that's a nice...
Okay, if somebody's following you and a whole collective family is working together to find your location, you think that you're not going to respond to that?
I don't think I think that's something that's...
I'm gonna intervene because I think we just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
It's-
we'll have to-
I
Okay,
understand
no
what you're both
further
saying about
questions,
this.
Mrs. Lepene, did you have one conversation with Elizabeth's grandmother or two?
I had 2. I'm sorry I said 1. I've had 2 conversations with
And when
her.
was the other one?
The other one was the following day. I had called her because she wanted to know if there was a time we could meet so she could see Callie. She hadn't seen Callie in a while. So I tried calling her. There was no answer. And then she called me later that morning. And she couldn't meet because she had to go to work at the soup kitchen.
She works at a soup kitchen?
She does, yeah, she volunteers every Friday, or maybe more than that, but that was one of the days.
And when you were talking about Alexis, you were talking about Alexis having it at Friendly's,
Oh, yes, yeah.
and Elizabeth had asked you a couple times about imbalanced medication that Alexis takes?
Yes,
Has Alexis been committed by her mother?
yes,
How many times?
2 times.
Where was she committed to?
Concord, I
New
believe.
Hampshire Hospital?
I believe so.
And was that due to an inability to control her?
Yes, I believe.
No further questions.
Any additional questions?
Yes, are you aware that, I'm a witness of a serious drug issue going on with my grandmother's sons?
What does that have to do with this, Liz?
But you have to just answer the question.
No,
No?
no,
Do you understand that I feel the conversation she's having with you is due to retaliation?
no,
Are you aware that I had her son arrested and he has been in prison for an extremely long time?
no,
You're not aware of that?
no.
Okay. No further questions.
Okay, you may sit down.
Thank you.
Your Honor, a call will need facility to stand.